afternoon, and welcome to Clearwater Jazz Holiday Foundation's Young Lions Jazz Master Virtual Sessions. I am your guest host, Michael Kernodle, and we have a special treat for you today. Why, you ask? We have the great Tyler Wertman, and the topic is understanding your practice routine. I just want to remind all our viewers as you come in, if you have any questions, and believe me, we love questions, just go into the chat feature and type out your questions, and we'll leave out some time for our educators to answer anything you have. I want to remind you, please be sure to check out the studio archive of past video sessions at clearwaterjazz.com education and outreach section. And that's brought to you by our sponsors over there, Blue Water Wealth Management at Stewart Partners and Duke Energy, as well as our Young Line podcast. And you can check that out wherever you stream. That's brought to you by our friends at Marine Max Clearwater. Just search Young Lions Jazz Master Virtual Sessions wherever you stream. So before we get started, I know Tyler is no stranger to Clearwater Jazz. I mean, he's done so many great past sessions. Here's a few for all our trombonists. Basic trombone fundamentals, long tones and lip slurs. We all need that. How about major scale and arpeggio practice? Or, this was a great one, approaching a transcription. Or maybe this is one of my favorite, chord progressions and turnaround practice on the trombone. I mean, if you like that, go back in the archive. Just to tell you a little bit about Professor Tyler here. He's no stranger to Clearwater Jazz. He's also a classical player, jazz player. He performs with many groups throughout Tampa Bay and beyond. It has taken him all across the country. Tyler is also an instructor of music at the University of Tampa. Presently, he's teaching intro to jazz as well as world music cultures. Exciting stuff. And did you know he received his Bachelor's of Arts in Music from FSU and a Master's of Music and Jazz Studies from USF. So Tyler, welcome back. The stage is all yours.
Mike, thank you again. And I really enjoy your introductions as well as having you here. And now, so for our lesson plan today, it's familiarizing ourselves with a warm-up routine. Not just any warm-up routine, but a warm-up routine custom fit to you, right? Think about maybe you're going to a dance for the first time and you got to borrow your dad's shirt or something. You know, it looks nice, but does it look good on you? Okay, that is something we need to think about in our practice routine. Is what we're doing effective? Can we be doing other things that might help? Okay, for where we are. Okay, and it's always going to progress. Our warm-up routine should be evolving, you know, throughout maybe a year or two. Maybe we're adding some things. Maybe we're taking away some things because we found other exercises that do that same concept and others. Okay, and so that's what it's all about, is finding that these exercises or, you know, warm-ups that really speak to your playing and help you get warmed up as quick as possible, right? Because we might not always have 20 minutes, 30 minutes to sit down with our horn, you know, and just really get a proper warm-up. But here are some things that we can do to, like I said, create a more custom warm-up to us. Okay, well, first on the brass instrument, this is going to be dealing with brass related things more so, but again, we need to start off by getting the blood moving. Okay, and that's really important. I talk about think about your athletes, right? Do they just jump into the games and start playing at their full level? No, right? They really take their time to get a proper warm up. Okay, think about baseball players. They're out there warming up for like 2 hours before the game, before they go out there, right? And so there's things that we have to do to acclimate our body for playing, or else we might not have the best possible sound. We might not be as ready to perform or read the music that we're about to play. Okay, so your daily routine, okay, is designed to develop your essential fundamentals. Simple as that. Okay. And so these fundamentals need to be, a great sound. Okay. So that's tone quality, as well as pitch, intonation, something very important on the trombone. Okay. And on any instrument, really, as well as time. Okay. Or, feeling different rhythms. Okay. So, and again, these concepts should all be focused on when you're doing any said warm up. Okay, and it's really important not to get tunnel vision, so to speak, when you're doing a warm up. Say after you perform, some long tones chromatically. I like to do descending chromatic long tones. There's different tonguing exercises you can do, okay, with different combination of eighths and quarter notes. Okay, so I'm sure we've all heard long tones. So some descending chromatic long tones that I'll start with in my warm up to kind of get the blood moving here. We'll either start from a concert F or a concert B flat. Sometimes I change depending on how I'm feeling that day. And so I'll just play the first 4 or so notes of the warm up so you guys get the gist. 1, 2, ready? And I'll play down all the way till 7th position for me, which is a concert B natural. Okay, so that was on my F partial, right? And then I'll go to B flat and play, B flat down to E. And so really focusing on pitch, focusing on time. Tone quality is important, right? But when we're warming up, we're not performing. Okay, and again, that's really important. We are getting the blood moving. We're in that process. Okay, so don't feel like, oh man, my first note of the day wasn't a completely in tune and in full sounding F. What am I going to do? No, right? We need to get that blood moving so that we can reach that destination of the best possible sound. Okay. And it's always about working to get there, right, at the fastest and most consistent rate. And that's why we need to be keeping track of the exercises that we're doing. Okay. And so it's really important to have, an end result with your warm up in mind. What do you want to hit, right? Well, there's the basics. You're going to have long tones, right? You're going to have certain tonguing exercises in there somewhere, as well as lip slurs, right? You might have different flexibility exercises, and we'll go over a couple of those as well as practicing your scales. Okay, and this is something I always do in my warm-up. Excuse me, I have something in my eye. And so with all of my warm-ups, I try to end with at least, at the very minimum, playing all 12 major scales, just so I can get my ear accustomed to all of, these major tonalities, before I go into play, right? Hearing these thirds, hearing the fifths, hearing the roots. It's really important to me to perform your scale after your warm up, just to kind of see where you are on your horn. And you'll feel it if you're warmed up, ready to go to play music in whichever band for 2 hours, or if you're feeling taxed or feeling cold and you're not as solid. Okay. Now, at the end of the warm up, after some scales, I would recommend a slight warm down process, as well as when you're completely done playing, a 10-minute warm down. This is something, again, athletes do it as well. They ice their muscles, they recuperate, right? Don't just get done with the show playing Mahler or playing Wagner or playing some Thad Jones chart, and then just throw your horn in the case. You're going to feel it the next day in a negative way if you do. Okay, just take some time, maybe perform some of those long tones that you started with, but even slower. Okay, even lower if possible. Maybe do some false tones. Okay, and what false tones are, it's if you're playing trombone and you're on that lowest possible B flat partial, you can actually lip down to notes that aren't possible to play below low E in 7th position. So technically on trombone, low E is the lowest note to play on a tenor trombone with no valve. Sounds like this. Okay, but if I were to start on the B flat partial, I can actually lip down to a low E flat and notes even lower. I might do this after I'm playing just to warm down. So it's really tough to do, but if you can play your E flat, this is a D flat. Obviously, that last E was the lowest possible note, but you heard me lipping down with those octaves, and it's tough. Okay, how I would practice this first would just be to start on your very comfortable note, either open or in first position, and just try to lip down a half step and understand the lower you are, the easier it is, but also the more we have to adjust. Okay, for instance, if we're on F, it's a bit harder, but try to lip down, from that concert F to concert E. B flat. Right, and try to see if you can, play your chromatic scale or chromatic notes in one position. And again, this is just something to get blood moving in the chops. Okay, just different ways besides playing, long tones or lip slurs all day long. You don't necessarily have to do that. Okay, I'll give you guys just a couple more examples. So I spoke on the tonguing exercise that, there's different ways to create your own, but one exercise I like to do just with eighth notes and quarter notes, guys, also with a metronome. Okay, I recommend everyone to have a metronome on their phone for the simple purpose of having perfect time everywhere you go. Yes, there's some musicians with perfect pitch, perfect time. I'm not one of those, okay? And it's very rare to find a musician with that talent. So it helps me to hear what perfect time is, so then I can practice alongside it. And then after a while, implement my time on top of the metronome. So then I can control the dead center of the beat, behind the beat, in front of the beat. Okay, but before we get there, we really need to start by just hearing, this pulse. Okay, and so again, with my warm-ups, guys, take it low and take it slow. Okay, there's no need to be practicing this as fast as possible. We're just trying to get, some clarity in our playing here. So this is 75 BPM. Let's turn it to 72. Okay, just slight adjustments can really help you internalize the exercise. Okay, so here's my tonguing exercise. 1, 2. And so on and so forth down the instrument, from that B flat down to low E. Okay, and something else you can do is to mix up articulations. Okay, and that was just a single tongue, eighth notes and quarter, nothing specific, but then try staccato. Okay, it's a bit of a challenge. To really accentuate that downbeat with the precise articulation of the note, and to feel that through your horn. Okay, there's going to be some natural delay from when we articulate to get that sound out of the bell. And so feel those things. Okay, and again, that is how we can practice, time, as well as pitch, hearing those different chromatic notes, so to speak, and building our tone quality. Okay. And so, yeah, guys, make sure that your warm-up should be hitting some of these fundamentals of long tones, right? Tonguing exercises, lip slurs, okay, flexibility exercises. Again, simple flexibility exercises such as same thing, going down the instrument, invert them. Okay, I really need to empty out my spitball. But still, create different exercises, because you might find maybe the inverted way helps open up your chops more. Okay, and again, stay conscious while you're warming up. Think, is this helping me? Can this or is this the fastest way to warm up these X amount of examples, or are you learning other things that you can bring in to your warm up? Okay, and again, ideally the perfect amount of time to have to get warmed up around 15 minutes or so, but you might have those days where you have to get a quick warm up in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, at most 10 minutes. In 10 minutes you can actually get a good bit of playing in, but it has to be focused playing. You can't just be, playing around your giant steps licks that you were shedding last night. Okay, warming up is very serious, because like athletes, again, if they don't take warming up serious, what happens? They injure themselves. And you can injure yourself on the bandstand too. It might not be physical, but it can be emotional if you play some wrong stuff. Mike, do we have any questions?
Well, strangely enough, you just answered one.
Okay.
And I'm disappointed that I can't play giant steps anymore for my warm up. But the question was, we always talk about why you should warm up, but what's the dangers of not warming up? And I believe you just answered that. There could be some, muscle issues you can have. I mean, because let's face it, it's just like you're an athlete. You have to stretch and things like that. And you said something real important. You may have some embarrassing moments where maybe you're trying to go for that high note or something and things aren't working right. And I've heard musicians say, you know what, that person's they're not spending enough time warming up. They just come in and play and you can hear it. So you answer that question already. So if you're listening, I know you hear your teachers always say, do it, but we want to let you know why. And if you don't, you can't blame anybody but maybe yourself. So we don't always have 10 or 15 minutes, but as a brass player, I know pulling out that mouthpiece and doing some buzzing.
There you go.
I mean, that's always been cool for me. Anything else you could recommend, for a quick warm up? If you're in a car, you get that last minute call, hey, we got a gig in 25 minutes. Can you make it over here? What are you doing to get yourself prepared?
That's right. And you said it, man. I had a mouthpiece in my car. Not in the one I got now. I need to put one in there. But man, it got to the point where I actually bought from Tim Kaufman a soldered ring of a Bach 52, I want to say, and it had just a little piece attached to it to where you can put it up to your lips, and it was open. It was just the lip of the mouthpiece, so you can actually see what your lips are doing, how much is on the top, how much is on the bottom. I'm sure that thing is somewhere covered in I'm sure it's all black and the metal's all great looking, but no, you're absolutely right. Buzzing in the car is something that can help you warm up without having the trombone or trumpet there, for instance.
That's awesome. And I've also seen some creative gadgets like Arturo Sandoval.
Okay.
He has something that looks like almost like a plastic trumpet, and it's just really for your fingers to really warm up and to be able to do finger dexterity. You can buzz in it as well. I'm pretty sure he's in and out of airports and still need to stay warm up. So I saw that at Midwest years ago. Very cool device. So,
well, if someone saw me doing that with my trombone slide, they think I was giving them a wrong message, maybe.
Probably so, but you know what? Who cares? It's all about the trombone, right?
Exactly. That's right.
Well, we want to thank all of our viewers for coming in today and joining us for our Young Lions Jazz Master virtual sessions. And I know you're saying, hey, where can I find more of these? Well, first of all, we want you to share. We want you to tell other people about what you heard today, what you saw today, what you got from it. That would be awesome. But you can check out more free sessions. It's posted at our website, www.clearwaterjazz.com/education. And the next question you probably say, well, who can I tell, if I have some feedback or I have some suggestions for a topic? I'm glad you asked. Please email us at info@clearwaterjazz.com and we'll get right with you. We love to hear from our loyal listeners and students of all ages, whether you're a beginner or you're expert, kind of like Tyler Wertman here. We want to hear from you. So until the next one, I've been your guest host, Michael Kernodle. This has been Tyler Wertman, our educator for today. And keep it swinging until the next one. Bye-bye.